I invest in the top 10 worst, safest cities in America. And I think it all comes with part of the territory of investing in the right submarkets, even in these bad, unsafe areas. You can't just invest off generalities or these stupid top 10 lists. Some of the people who aren't sophisticated investors might say, yeah, I don't want to invest in these safe cities. But I had 4 rentals in Birmingham. A lot of the investors still go there for rental properties. I have a couple apartments in Oklahoma City. I invest in the top 10 worst, safest cities in America. And I think it all comes with part of the territory of investing in the right submarkets, even in these bad, unsafe areas. You can't just invest off generalities or these stupid top 10 lists. That said, if you're looking for the safest cities in America, you probably ain't going to cash flow there. And it's probably not going to be a good investment. Partly, I bring these types of figures up to call out the BS. Right? Safest states in America: Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, Minnesota, Utah, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maryland, Washington. Now, you're not investing in a particular state. You're investing in a MSA, a city, and if you dive down even deeper into a certain MSA or sub-market within the market. So for example, like Seattle has maybe a couple dozen sub-markets within this greater Seattle area. And even within one of those sub-markets, you might have a good side or a bad side, or a good block, bad block. What we tell investors is get away from these stupid top 10 lists and really start to dive in and just know that some of these safest states, a lot of these just won't cash flow. They're not going to be good investments. Sure, they're a nice place to live in, and maybe it has a good school district or two, but is it going to make a good investment? And that is where you separate the real investors from those people who just like to collect houses in random areas of the country because they feel like it is safe for them. Some of the least safest states in America: Tennessee, Missouri, Florida, Alabama, Montana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana. If you went off this list, you wouldn't invest in Texas, Alabama, Florida. I'd say 3 of the top 8 states to invest in, quite frankly. So, bad data. Michael says he's from St. Louis. It's only bad in certain areas. So St. Louis and Kansas City, I don't know what it is about those towns, but man, it isn't really like block by block in those certain areas. And that's just goes to show you, even in the right sub-market, you have to go block by block. Thanks for the comments, folks. Feel free to drop more comments in. And also, if you guys are checking this out on replay, drop the comments below. I might get to it if I happen to be playing around with social media, which I try not to. I think social media is a waste of time. This next slide is from Arbor. Arbor is one of the few direct Fannie Mae Freddie Mac lenders that we'll work with to get these large direct Fannie Freddie loans for apartments. A lot of good data and newsletters they come up with. So this is an article on affordability and some of the highlights here. The pandemic's economic effects combined with this year's surging rent prices have strained low-income renters, placing housing affordability back in the spotlight. So as we know, the pandemic impacted a lot of the low end, the Class C type of stuff. The Class A stuff, in a traditional recession, the Class A people lose their jobs and move to the Bs and to the Cs. But in this particular COVID-19 pandemic / recession, the A class were pretty much unimpacted, other than paying for Grubhub and not having to go to their college sports games or professional sports games and big nice vacations. But other than that, they're pretty good. Some of our Class A apartments, they ran into a rough month there when a lot of people realized that interest rates were low and they bought houses, right? And this is why it's nice to invest in stuff that your tenants aren't exactly economically mobile. Now, that could be insensitive, but hey, when you're an investor, you don't want too much turnover amongst your tenants. Next point here: reduced business income due to the pandemic and related downturn may decrease the value of tax credits and require affordable developers to seek alternative financing sources. So there's a lot of developers out there that will develop these properties for the lower income, or it might have, say 20% of the units designated to be 20% under the market. I think it's a good idea. It's the government's way of ensuring that you have ample supply of lower income, because even in a good area, someone's got to take out the trash or do those types of jobs. So it'd be cool if they live close to where it's at. I think this is a hell of a lot better idea than making a bunch of projects where a bunch of poor people are living. There's just a lot of unsafe conditions and high crime areas where I think they call this the LURC, different acronyms. LIHTC is another program, but developers will take advantage of these government incentives to build and either get credits or great loans. But the give back is they need to have these rent restrictions on a certain amount of units. We've got a couple of apartments that have this exact same thing where 20% of the units are designated lower. The share of the LIHTC mortgages utilizing the 4% tax credit remained elevated at 40% through the second quarter of 2021, reflecting the continued attractiveness of rehabbing versus ground-up development. The Housing Choice Voucher Program, another major affordable housing initiative, is set to be expanded in the proposal of 2022 federal budget by $5.3 billion, a 13.3% increase from the fiscal year 2021. Now, 3.5 of several trillion, still pennies amongst the big stimulus package.
This website offers very general information concerning real estate for investment purposes. Every investor situation is unique. Always seek the services of licensed third-party appraisers and inspectors to verify the value and condition of any property you intend to purchase. Use the services of professional title and escrow companies and licensed tax, investment, and or legal advisor before relying on any information contained herein. Information is not guaranteed, as in every investment there is risk. The content found here is just my opinion, and things change, and I reserve the right to change my mind. Above all else, do your own analysis and think for yourself, because in the end, you are the only person who is going to look out for your best interests.